Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Immortal Cave and SamWeTrust.blogspot.ca, and as usual, I'll put a link to my blog in the description. And we're here today to talk about the Day of the Doctor. But I got two things I want to get out of the way first. First of all, is the fact that if I sound a little bit off or I don't sound quite as good as I used to, it's my headphones aren't dead, but they're not charged right now, and I can't really wait because I don't want to lose kind of what's fresh in my mind right now. It wouldn't be a bloody first reaction if it wasn't a first reaction, that kind of thing. Uh, and the second thing I want to bring up is the two, the one prequel thing, but really it is kind of two. The first prequel being, what was it called? The Night of the Doctor. That's it. Where the Eighth regenerated into the War Doctor. First of all, it is awesome to see Paul McGann back. I just want to say that right now. It is abso-friggin-lutely awesome to see Paul McGann back as the Eighth Doctor, and I'm very, very glad and very happy to see him back because you know I liked the Eighth Doctor movie, but it did feel very odd. It felt very black sheep of the family, and it. While I will give him credit that I think he did the best he could, Eric Roberts is the master. Need I say more? Continuing on. But it is very good to see Paul McGann back as the Eighth Doctor. It's very good to see that. It's kind of neat to see how he regenerated into the War Doctor as well. Um, and there's actually kind of interesting little leak later on, but I'll get into that when I get to the end of the Day of the Doctor. But yeah, this was this was something we've all been waiting for 6 months since the Name of the Doctor aired. And, obviously it had that twist of what I did was in the name of peace and sanity, but not in the name of the Doctor. It's very interesting because of how everything went in this one. First I'm going to get into just how all three of the Doctors behaved with each other. Technically four. Technically five, but I'll get into that in a second. And technically speaking, one of them doesn't behave with the other ones, but I'm getting way ahead of myself now. So, what do we have here is Matt Smith, David Tennant, and John Hurt. These three doctors, or perhaps I should be calling them by their nicknames, Chinny, Sandshoes, and Grandad. God damn it. I have not laughed that hard in a while. I haven't laughed that hard since the last time I saw Strax. Let that be a signal. But I absolutely friggin' adore these three together. Like, these three are absolutely hilarious. Because immediately 11 knows who 10 is. He looks at him. 10 figures it out pretty quickly. And then they just basically look back and forth at each other. They do the screwdriver thing, which I think we all knew was going to happen eventually. But I got a really good chuckle out of that. Just because uh, there's so many good things. The thing that really got me was just the fact that I knew 11 was going to be pretty funny. I knew 10 was going to be pretty funny. And both of them have some really good lines in this. But god damn it. John Hurt, he 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 fights with the champions. He fights with the best because he was pretty goddamn funny, I have to say. I think my favorite line of his, without a doubt, well, actually my two favorite ones of his being uh, when all the knights of Queen Elizabeth come out and say try to arrest them, and 10 and 11 immediately start pointing the sonic screwdrivers at everybody. Immediately, the War Doctor, John Hurt, immediately just looks around and just goes, "Why are you doing? Will you stop pointing? What are you going to do with a screwdriver? Build a shelf at them?" And I died when I heard the words "build a shelf at them," because John Hurt is damn impressive in this. I have to give him full credit. Like, he is damn funny, and as is David Tennant, who has more than a few good lines. It's a machine that goes sting comes to mind, and just the the behavior between all three of them is absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I have to say, like, they absolutely just they killed me. They absolutely killed me. But then we have the two other doctors that are in this technically. Now, a lot of people figured that that another one of the doctors would show up in some way, shape, form, or whatever. And I just realized I'll get to Billy Piper in a second. But two of them do, technically. At the very end, the museum keeper, and I don't know if it was supposed to be the fourth doctor, but he was played by Tom Baker. And I think no, I think he was actually supposed to be the curator, not the fourth doctor. But he does. They play it off, and I think he was in the fourth doctor's character because he kind of behaved like that. But it was very cool seeing Matt Smith and Tom Baker play off each other for a quick second, even if it wasn't really doctor to doctor. But then, and I'm getting ahead of the story. Actually, you know what? I'll say the story right now. Okay, spoilers from this point on. Because I don't think I've really majorly spoiled anything yet, aside from one or two things. But no major spoilers past here, like the entire story. Long story short, Gallifrey hasn't been destroyed. It got frozen in a painting, in a time locked painting or something like that, and it can be freed later. And that's kind of what happens at the end, is that the Doctor has kind of this new found um, a new way of life, basically, which isn't regretting the past, which isn't fighting to make up for his past. He's trying to find Gallifrey because it's out there somewhere. Now, I'm pretty sure I know what it is, and some people may have already figured it out. I think it's Trenzalore, because when you first see, and I realize I'm getting way off topic, but just go with me here. I think it's Trenzalore because when you first see that one outer space shot from in The Name of the Doctor, it looks suspiciously like the lava cracks and the fires and whatnot. It looks suspiciously like a really burnt out version of Gallifrey from The End of Time. And come to think of it, there's a few problems I have with this that involve The End of Time, but I'll get to that in a second. But what I'm getting at is, the Gallifreyans mentioned that the three doctors, Matt Smith, 10, 11, and the War Doctor, all three of them basically, all three of the doctors, they figure, well, we can't ourselves figure out a way to do this. So long story short, they recruit all the other doctors. Like, it's in stock footage for every single one of them, including Eccleston, unfortunately. Well, I'm not gonna open up that can of worms, but if 1 to 9 has the footage of them, which is really cool. Actually, I have to admit the fact that they included all 12, including the War Doctor, of course. And then, of course, the moment, and I knew they were going to do this, where the Gallifreyans are saying all 12 of the Doctors are helping. No, wait, all 13, and it shows a close-up of Peter Capaldi's face. And I have to admit, I shit a brick. Like, I was just like, oh my god, it's the 12! Like, I had a moment, but like, that was just cool. That was really, really cool seeing that moment of Peter Capaldi. Even if it was a flash second of him moving a lever and then a close-up of his face. It was literally like 2 seconds. If that. But it was so awesome. Just seeing that moment. Because that was just cool. That was really, really, really cool. But, what else was there? The Zygons. I think it's really cool that they kind of brought this Zygon plot into the story as well, because basically it's David Tennant and Matt Smith themselves have the problem with the Zygons. David Tennant in the 1500s runs into Queen Elizabeth, and that's how she's involved. Long story short, this is when they get married, and yes, Queen Elizabeth and the Doctor are married, which I just kind of realized some weird altercations that could probably arise if River Song ever found out, but that's just being random now. Anyway, I had work today, by the way, if I'm a little out of it, so please just ignore my. Well, no, don't ignore my ramblings. That's pretty much all I do. Sorry. Anyway, and in the modern day, it's with the unit headquarters and these 3D paintings, like I said, one of which holds Gallifrey, and some of which would hold other ones. What I think is really, really cool is that the Zygons basically use Time Lord technology. Where they got it from, I don't know, and that is a plot hole. But I'll get later into some of these. That is a touch of a plot hole. But they're basically using this to go from the past, seal themselves in paintings, and then erupt later. They're basically, I think, I don't remember which doctor said it, but they're invading the present from the past, which is a cool concept. And I'm really glad to see the Zygons come back, because I think they're really cool. And also kind of explains why they haven't shown up in a while, which was that the Zygon homeworld basically got destroyed during the Time War, during the early years. So, that's really cool. Though I just realized there was a mention of the Zygons in Series 7, but I think I'm just nitpicking at that point. Anyway, like I said, all the actors are fine. The enemies are fine. The Daleks show up and they do like two things. No, they don't even do two things. They're basically just, we're here for the Time War. Hi. And that's about it. And that's really my problem. My two big problems with this. Well, not my one big problem with this is the fact that there's so much talk of the Time War. Actually, I'll get back to that in a second. I apologize I'm so scatterbrained, but I want to make sure I don't forget this. Billie Piper. Not Rose. She's not playing Rose. She's playing the moment. She's playing the weapon that is used to destroy the Time Lords and the Daleks. She's the interface of it. Which I do find it very interesting that, well, that happened. I thought it was very random. But it was cool. It was nice to have her back. But it was, I think the second that happened, it was basically just kind of a bait and switch. A massive bait and switch, come to think of it. Because everybody, and I mean everybody, thought the exact same thing when they first heard that David Tennant and Billie Piper were coming back. It's the Meta-Crisis Doctor and Rose from their dimension. Nope. And I will admit, that was a nice bait and switch. Because during Season 6, which I love Season 6, it's one of my favorite seasons. I have to rewatch it again to know how high up it is, but it is one of my favorite seasons, and the main problem with that season was the fact that you saw the solution to everything just coming up about 10, 15 million miles away. But I thought that was nice. But my main problem with this is the fact that for how much focus is on the Time War, I thought it was going to focus more on the Time War. Because really, the first, 2/3, actually probably well over 2/3, like 3/4, actually, I would say, are based completely on this Zygon plot. And, I'm glad to see the Zygons back, but this is the 50th anniversary, and we've got 3 doctors. Zygons? This is what you throw at us? Zygons. Really? Zygons? That's it? For 3 doctors to handle Zygons? It just kind of bugs me that they... It just bugs me that they didn't it really just really bothers me that they didn't go more with the Daleks. Like, they could have turned this into, like, the first third could have been the Zygons, and then the second two-thirds could have been the Time War. They could have brought back frickin' Davros, for God's sakes, or the Master, or Rassilon. And that's my other problem right there. The end of time. The end of time implied that Time Lord Rassilon was planning on ending everything. The Time Lord generals that we see a couple times in The Day of the Doctor never mention anything about that. Like, it just never happened. And that does make me rather concerned for the Master as well, for his fate. Because he just, we don't see anything of him. We don't see anything of the Master. Or, or Rassilon, or anything. All we really see is, you know, is stuff involving the Doctor. Which, that's really nice, don't misunderstand me. Because it's nice kind of seeing all this stuff with the Time War build up and generate and all that. But I would have liked it if it was focused more on the actual Time War and the Daleks and the actual fight. Because we've never seen anything of the Time War. And we're just starting to see, I think we really see, like, maybe 2-3 minutes, really, when they were first kind of introducing John Hurt's character. And, by the way, for those who haven't seen it and are still watching for some reason, and are wondering how the hell the time lock thing kind of got overwritten, basically the weapon itself is so incredibly powerful that it can kind of just do that, because it has obviously the interface with Billy Piper. And I have to say, it does make sense, because when you think about a Dalek Khan, a single Dalek, a smart one, but a single Dalek, basically just kind of rammed into it hard and it broke. And Davros slipped out. So, yeah, that does make sense. But, yeah, that's kind of where everything seems to be leading right now, is leading into the Doctor trying to find Gallifrey, which I'm convinced is Trenzalore, which makes sense considering the fact that the next episode is the fall of the 11th. And I want to get this out of the way right now. I have seen the trailer. Daleks are involved. Cybermen are involved. The new Siberiad, which I'm happy to see. And what I'm even happier to see, the fucking silence. Thank you! Somebody heard me. Thank you! The freaking silence are back. I can understand it, because Trenzalore wasn't the incident that, what's his name, the blue head. I think I just had a moment where I realized what the hell I'm watching. Sorry. The moment where, the moment of, Dorian, that's his name, that Dorian mentioned, wasn't, the stuff with, the, what's his name, with the Great Intelligence. It's the stuff that's coming. And that's also what the silence were warning about. The silence will fall. So there's that. What I'm really interested in here is just where this is going, because I saw Silent, and that's all I freaking care about right now. I'm so excited for that. But there is another thing, actually, that I just remembered that is a really, really, really big plot hole. Remember how Clara jumped into the Doctor's time stream, and the Doctor jumped into his own time stream, and they saw John Hurt at the end of Series 7. When this starts, Clara's a school teacher, and the Doctor just invites her into the TARDIS, and then they just go. So we're not gonna talk about that? How you got out of there? Or anything? You're not gonna even give a throwaway line about how, how you left your own timeline without being hurt? Or anything? Nothing? Really? Just that really, that bothers the hell out of me. Because it's so weird that they would just kind of, that happened. Now we're back. But, like I said, there are problems with it, but I don't think there are that many. And it was certainly a hell of a joy to watch because, again, John Hurt, very funny man, very good actor. Very good actor, actually. I have to admit, his acting is amazing in this. And, David Tennant and Matt Smith are also awesome. Just seeing them rebound off each other is probably one of the better things. But, no, I mean, watch it. I don't need to say that. Watch it. Watch the stupid movie. It's good. It's really good. It's, like I said, it has problems, but it's good. It's very good. Now, there is one other thing I want to bring up before I finish. That would be the documentary pick that debuted, I believe, last night, the night before the Day of the Doctor, which was An Adventure in Space and Time. I don't know how accurate that actually is to history, because it's supposed to be an actual history pick about the creation of Doctor Who, and just from the basically from the first Doctor to the second. I want to say this right now. Even if again, I have no idea how close this is to actual reality. Watch that movie, because that movie was absolutely friggin' beautiful. And again, if that is historically accurate, then William Hartnell was that was amazing. Like, I'm not going to spoil a damn thing. Just watch that movie. But yeah, see everybody in about a month for the fall of the 11th. By the way, I'm going to call this right now. I'm going to be bawling my goddamn eyes out. My goddamn eyes out, because Matt Smith is my doctor. He's my doctor is the 11th Doctor. The wackiness, the zaniness, the fact that he acts like an alien, the fact that he seems very alien to this world, but at the same time he seems very human. I love that about him. And the fact that the 6th and 7th series were the only two I've seen live as they've come. Like, just brand new debut episodes. And, just, I'm going to be in absolute fucking tears. Especially, and like, at this point they're going for bonus points. I'm going to be in tears. They get extra bonus tears if they use the fucking long song from Rings of Akaten. If they use that song that was playing during the Doctor's awesome fucking speech during the Rings of Akaten, if they play that when he starts regenerating, I'm gone immediately. Like, I'm grabbing the tissue. I'm gone. I'm going to fucking lose my shit. I apologize that I'm swearing so much right now, but I'm calling that right now. In basically 1 month, I am going to be crying a lot, because, oh my god, like, well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe, do whatever, and comment, and whatever the hell else it is. Show your support if you like this video, and I shall see you all in a month, where I'll be fresh from crying my goddamn eyes out. See yous.